the confusion about the Ida and the Pingala nadis. So, for those of you who don't know about this, there are subtle conduits that spreading throughout the body that is not visible to the naked eye and mentioned in the Vedic literatures, as well as it is described somewhat in the Far East sciences, in the Chinese cultures. And these are conduits that are running throughout the body. There are 72,000 in number. And the, the target for energy healers to cleanse, because it is said that once there is some type of illness, it's usually related to the cause is usually related to some type of blockage in the subtle conduits. And if those subtle blockages are removed through energy, infusing of energy there through an energy healer or through meditation or through breath work, um, and of course advanced type of breath works, then it clears those blockages and it results in the illness getting better in about 90% of the time. So it's a very powerful way, and to remove illnesses, and this is how energy healing works. But all these conduits join together to two major conduits, like the major arteries or the major veins. One is on the left and one is on the right, of the spine. And in the very central channel is a central conduit that is called the Sushamna Nadi. The one on the left side is called the Ida Nadi, and the one on the right side is called the Pingala Nadi. Right? It's like a major vessel. So they are also described as masculine and feminine. And on the left side, it is stated that the Ida Nadi feminine has got a color. The feminine color is a bluish gray, and the masculine color on the right, the Pingala Nadi, is pinkish red. So this is where the color confusion comes about, because reality is different in my experience from the um, what I've perceived, what I've learned, in theory, and had to think a lot about it. And I will discuss that in this video today. For those, I would like to ask you a very big favor. If you like the contents of my video, please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. This will greatly help my channel to be able to reach out to more people. If you could just do one additional favor, just drop a comment and share it with just one other person or your social media channel. I will appreciate this very much. And thank you very much just for watching my video. I understand how precious time is, and so how important um, it is to have the attention of someone, in my video as well. And this deserves a very big thank you from my side for supporting my channel. For those of you who don't know me, I am Osman. I'm a bioenergy healer on a master level with telepathic healing capabilities, um, specializing in critical care recovery and terminal illnesses, amongst a host of other physiological, psychological, and spiritual ailments. I have an amazing promotion, a 10-minute anxiety fix for just $5, less than the price of a Starbucks coffee, delivered to you telepathically anywhere globally, instantly, and pay only after you are satisfied. And this goes for all my therapies. You only pay for services that are already delivered, and when you are satisfied. If you're not satisfied, we don't request any payment from you, because we're not charging for our time. We're charging for your satisfaction and for results, right? And I'm also a advanced level yoga and meditation teacher. having been practicing this art form for almost 50 years, teaching for 44 years. In that time, the unique feature of my practice is that I've studied under various amazing masters from different schools of thought, from different cultures across the globe, from the East, the Far East, the Middle East, and the West, including the scientific communities. And to that end, what I've done is I've taken the best of all the worlds, created my own unique combined protocols, but simplified it, especially taking the ancient, complicated arts and making it simpler, better, faster, easier, more time efficient, and results oriented, basically adapting them for the 21st century. To that end, I now have students in over 100 countries, and my favorite protocol is my 5-minute yoga and meditation program, which you can download for free by visiting my website, yogawellness786.com, where you can get more contact information for my services and also learn more about all the services and the information about my company and testimonials and so forth. Um, Also remember that my therapies are all natural based and not a replacement for medical treatment. So coming back to this Ida and the Pingala Nadis, the confusion comes where very clearly all the literature states that the Ida is on the left side, so there's no problem with the Ida being the feminine and being on the left side, and the Pingala being masculine on the right side. But the problem comes that they say the Ida, the feminine, is the bluish gray color, and Pingala, being the masculine, being a reddish pink color. This is clear across the board. So I actually used my AI companion using that. I use usually both Grok as well as ChatGPT. But this time I use Grok. Grok seems to be much more nuanced when it comes to the fine arts and finer details of information. um, ChatGPT is a bit more generalized and unable to go into specific details, that are more detailed and more nuanced, especially in this field, and we've clarified, according to Grok, that there is no literature in the Vedic scriptures or the sutras of that states that the Pingala, being masculine, is not red, and that it actually says that it's red and reddish pink, and that the Ida is bluish gray. So as most of you would know, I am blind. Hashtag the blind Muslim yogi. If you want to search for me, on social media channels. Um, but I'm only blind to the physical world, not to the energetic world, and not to the spirit world, right? So, I mean, I don't focus on the spirit world, and I don't delve into that too much, but the energy, with regard to seeing the colors of the subtle lights for the energies, so I can see on a daily basis which nadi is prominent, because according to Vedic sciences, every day either the Pingala or the Ida nadi would be dominant throughout the planet, throughout the universe, right? Anywhere in the universe, this is same. So today is, one day will be Pingala day, next day will be Ida day, and they keep alternating, and the respective colors will be seen. So today I'm seeing the right now as I'm speaking to you, I can see the bluish gray color. It's like there's a screen, everything is bluish gray, right? And I can also see the light in my forehead. It's a white light here, and I see the big massive light around my skull. And then my left eye, it has a very bright white light, and I don't understand, ever since I lost my eyesight in my left eye, because I lost my eyesight first on my left eye, and then I think about a year and a half later, 1.5 to 2 years later, I completely lost, the right eye, gradually, and they actually happened during two separate incidents of energy healing. One was a COVID client during COVID, and I healed him. Of course, he was extremely ill with COVID, and he was afraid, that he was not getting better, and he feared the worst, of course. But when I did the healing, I did it hands on, with him, and the virus went into my left eye, and I got an inflammation, and the eye became red, and extremely heavy headache, and taking, of course, antibiotics and medications and all not going to work. And even my own energy healing didn't work because it went in a concentrated manner in there. And it affected something inside my brain where it was extremely painful, extreme. And the headache, it was like bloodshot for several weeks. And then after that, I started to see, got like a misty vision on the left eye, and it stayed a bit misty until for about 6 month period. Then suddenly one fine, then it started to get a bit more mistier, more mistier, more mistier, and then boom, after 6 months, lights out in the left eye. The right eye was, sorry for the distracting, just since I mentioned it, I might as well explain it. Was when I was doing a critical care recovery. Usually, I'm specialized in critical care recovery and terminal illnesses. But when I'm doing critical care recovery with energy healing, I'm using my own personal energy, my life force energy, and I send it fully to the person to recover them. So I lose, like, it feels like 99%, obviously not 99%, but it feels like I'm losing, a lot of my energy, and I get totally drained out. And usually the person is able to walk out of hospital, within a 10-day period after the doctors have said there's no hope, and they know usually call in the families, to um, pay their respects or say their goodbyes, right? Because the patient is no longer responding to the medications, and the health markers starting to decline rapidly. And this is when usually they call me, because people don't believe in energy healing as such, and they usually at the last minute they want to try it out in case it works. And I've got a very high success rate, right? So and usually happens through referral. And of course, I can't do more than one patient at a time because it takes all of my energy. But in that particular occasion, I got a second, request, and a third request, all three at the same, one after the other, within a few hours apart. I think a day or two apart. And I didn't have the heart to say no. I'm busy with one person, and I can't do more than one person at a time. And because it's critical, the person, if I'm going to wait 10 days before I go to the next one, uh, the person might not be alive, at that time. So it's, by me refusing is going to mean that I'm not going to be able to assist them. And I felt it's better to assist them and take a chance, right? I said, take a chance. The risk is I will lose my life, and I was prepared to accept that because I have this gift. And this gift has been, I was born with a gift, which I just honed and studied scientifically, which is accepted in the scientific community currently as an accepted alternative form of healing, energy healing, right? Qigong energy healing. That's what I learned from China. And I said, I have this gift. It was a natural gift that I was born with, but I later learned, right? The Qigong science behind it, so that it can be delivered in an acceptable manner, and you're following acceptable protocols in the scientific and medical communities, right? And so I decided to take it on because I have this gift and the person's life is in danger. And I was prepared. I know that this is a very dangerous field for me. Even by me not only doing one at a time, it's possible I may meet some situation where the person is so ill and I'm not strong enough. I may lose my life. And I accept that because it's my duty. This is my job. This is something that I do full time, and something that I feel an honor to die in the cause of my duty. It's like dying, fighting for your country. I'm dying fighting to save someone's life, right? Of course, dying, fighting for your country and for what is good is a far greater thing. It's a bigger good. I'm just trying to save one life, right? or 2 or 3. In this case, it was 3. And because it was too much for my energy, I became extremely ill. After 2, I managed to save 2 of that life, 3 lives, right? So it was beneficial in that respect that, I instead of just saving 1 life, I now saved 2 lives, and sadly I lost the 1 life because it came where the doctors mentioned that the blood vessels in the brain were already ruptured, that even if he survived, he would have been a vegetable. He would not have been able to function. And it was also, too far gone. And but I didn't, I felt it was my first and only critical care recovery loss, where I tried to save someone's life and I didn't manage to save it first time in my, and I'm doing this for I think 49 years currently, right? From childhood, I've got this gift, and I never lost a life. I've done so many, countless. I can't count. I wouldn't say thousands, under 1,000, right? People that have saved their lives, and maybe several hundred. Um, uh, I haven't, really don't know. But I felt that my energy, if I was doing only that one person, I could have saved his life possibly, and maybe could have worked on, therapies to, to help heal, the ruptured vessels, or, there could have been some other, alternative medical intervention that could have assisted him, or some people with their own willpower they can heal with time. And there has been cases where there were ruptured vessels in the brain, and the people managed to, by sheer force of will, over a period of time, recover themselves. But doing 3 at the same time was too much for me, and that's how I lost the patient. And I decided from that time not to risk my life again, because I got very ill. I was bedridden for 2 weeks. I could not even go to the toilet. I had to crawl to the toilet. Crawl. I couldn't walk. I was very sick for 2 weeks, and I was alone as well. But fortunately, I still had my eyesight at that time, in the one eye. And after that, my immediately after that, my eyesight started to decline, and it started to go downhill fast, and every month it was declining like about 10%, right? Close 8 to 10%. And of course, I went for every medical intervention, specialized hospital. Unfortunately, money was not a problem, for all that treatments. And I underwent 8 eye operations as well. And they just couldn't find any medical cause for this. And after 12 months, I completely lost my eyesight, right? In my right eye. But it's okay because I'm an energy healer. I'm busy working on increasing my energy levels. And I'm positive that once I reach a certain threshold, I'll be able to reverse, my loss of my eyesight. And the reason I'm having so much of difficulty is because the damage, according to the medical field, is to the optic nerve. And the optic nerve, currently, there is no medical cure for it. Although scientific community has found a chemical that can reverse age mice, and the side effect was it also reversed damage to the optic nerve, but they haven't yet formulated for human usage yet. And it was by a scientist in Japan, by the way, by the name of Tanaka, who won a Nobel Prize for it. So coming back to this, so I'm just giving this to show the intensity and the level of my um, dedication to this practice. And I'm also in an advanced yoga and meditation field where, I mean, I can see the light in my third. I can see the 7 chakras, already activated as well. So I'm on a very high level, and I'm specializing in terminal illnesses and critical care recovery, with the only loss of only one patient in 49 years, right? The rest generally, so it's not that I can guarantee I can save every person's life, because I'm one person. I haven't tried it over the whole planet, and my numbers are not how many can I heal, right? So the medical field is using millions of doctors and treating billions of people. They've got more epidemiological you know um, figures. I don't have that epidemiological figure in terms of my practice. But what I do know is that the lights that I see, and when I do chakra and blocking, all my patients are seeing, they see the lights, and I wait for them to see, all the various lights that denotes that that particular chakra is unblocked. And this is uniqueness of my chakra unblocking protocol. So we all know, the colors of the lights, and there's also a discrepancy with regard to the color of the different chakras. A difference between what is written in the scriptures and what I'm experiencing. So my experience across, because I'm doing a lot of numbers, right, of chakra unblocking. So always the root chakra is shown as yellow, and the solar plexus chakra shows as red. But yet the scripture says no, the root chakra is red and the solar plexus is yellow. And so in a logical perspective it makes sense, because it should move according in a linear fashion according to the light spectrum: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, right? But in my experience, it's like I'm like 100% sure that the root was actually yellow and the solar plexus was red. And I did it over and over, in my practices, because when I'm raising the kundalini and it's going through each chakra, I can see the colors light up, right, for each chakra. And that's how I know this. And always it starts with the order, because the kundalini is at the base of the spine. It starts always with yellow, then to like a golden or mustard or orangish. They say orange. I see like a mustard color, like a golden color, right? And then red, right? And and surprisingly, after that, it starts from the top: purple, indigo, light blue. Last is the green. And a lot of scriptures say that the Kundalini skips the heart, and they give other reasons for it. Uh, or justifications and so forth, which I don't accept. And in my experience also, the heart was last, for me in my original development, as I was developing, decades ago, the kundalini. And it went, so every time I sat to meditate, it went in that order. So I thought there's something wrong, with my analysis, because the scriptures are ancient, 4,000, 5,000 years old, right? How can I come and say that that is wrong? Until I heard someone on the internet was one, also an advanced person in the yoga field. He was a sannyasi, like a monk in the Hindu order, but he came from the US, and he stayed in an ashram, I think in India somewhere. And he was Swami, I forgot his name, but he's got a YouTube video where he wanted to experiment on the Kundalini. If you search on Kundalini, you'll find that he is doing an experiment on Kundalini. Although he said he doesn't, delve into Kundalini, and his guru told him not to go into it. And but he, because every it's such a common thing, he decided, and he never experienced that, because in Raja Yoga, many schools of thought, many other forms, especially major forms of yoga, there's no mention of Kundalini, right? It's only in Tantra, in Laya Yoga, there's mention of Kundalini. So in Raja Yoga, there's zero mention of Kundalini, right? The Eightfold or Astanga Yoga, no mention of Kundalini. And they don't do this thing, and they achieve the highest level of development without raising or awakening the kundalini. So he mentioned that the base, the root chakra, is yellow according to the Upanishads. So his version. Then I said, for the first time I'm hearing someone uh, you know uh, uh, confirming my experience. So which means there is two versions, of interpretations depending on the school of thought, which is first, and which, whether it's yellow or the. So could it be that my experience of the colors of the Ida and the Pingala Nadi could be correct? And I went deeper into it until I said, no, I need some form of physical evidence before I make the claim, no, that the left side is actually, pinkish red, and the right side is bluish. The masculine side is actually bluish gray, and the feminine side is pinkish red. And it makes more sense because in the Vedic literature, feminine energy is called the Shakti, and the Shakti is the fiery energy, and should be related to feminine, not masculine. The masculine should not be energetic, it should be more subtle. Or the Shiva is said to be the described. These are all like figuratively described, and some people say, believe it is literal. So, but I would say more figurative, because they try to explain things figuratively for people to understand on the root, on the grassroots level. So, the Shiva is said to be the causal energy, the cause, the unborn, uncreated cause of everything, that is before there was anything. It's not even, because nothing is something, right? Not even from it eliminated the energy. God created the energy to create, the creative energy before he created everything. And that creative energy is represented as a feminine energy. So when we go to the account of Ramakrishna, when he wanted to see, God, the form of God, first he experienced God as a light, and then the light formed, created a form, a feminine form, right? It said definitely is a goddess, right? God is a goddess, the creator of everything. He confirms that it's a goddess, and it's female, right? So is then that means God is female? No, it's the energy of God, right? The creative aspect of God is female. God is neither male nor female because it's uncreated, not having any gender, right? And not having any form, and neither is he formless. Formless is like the energy. One experiences the universal energy, the cosmic energy, downloading into your body and so forth, right? And so there is this one. I'm coming to this picture in Hindu philosophy of Shiva Shakti, half male, half female, right? So the feminine half is like pinkish red, and the masculine half, the Shiva side, because it's a picture of a like a deity. One half is male, and the other half is female, and the female half is on the left side, and the male half is on the right side of the picture, right? And the right side is like bluish gray, the masculine part, and the feminine part is pinkish red, right? So this is confirmation that I am not incorrect, that the Ida Nadi, the feminine, is actually reddish pink, and the Pingala Nadi, the masculine, is actually grayish blue. So how did I, because I was seeing them alternating, how do I know which is masculine, which is feminine? How did I know? Because one day I'm seeing completely bluish gray, and another day I'm seeing completely pinkish gray. So as I was developing in my progress in meditation and pranayama and kriya and so forth, sometimes when I meditate or become very calm and relaxed and balanced, I see half is reddish pink and half is grayish blue. Always the right side is grayish blue and the left side is pinkish gray. And I was saying, today is, how come the left side is pinkish red, but the left is, the feminine side? How come masculine energy is on the left side? It's not masculine, it's right. The pinkish red supposed to be on the right half. So I see exactly half. It's like it blends where it's mixing. It's not like a straight direct. It's like a misty area where it's like transitioning in that line, right? In that line, a very narrow line transition. And then this complete side is on my right is completely grayish blue, and on my left from here is completely pinkish red. And I said, no, this is something that is definite. I'm 100% sure. And this happened multiple occasions and happens regularly, right? So right now, I'm of course controlled by the overall energy of the universe. But when I get very calm and very relaxed, the pinkish red starts coming in the left half and completely fills the left half. And then I say, it looks like so amazing to see two separate colors, right? And then I said, okay, my justification is that picture, where because they always try to give the knowledge of the scriptures in a picture form, because the picture is trying to say a lot of things, right? Because you get this forms of Kali, she's on a picture of a Shiva, right? The one was depicted, the deity Shiva, but seems to be, they say, he's dead, that she killed him and he's dead and she's standing on him. But it also could be that he's sleeping, right? That when one reaches a certain level of evolution of meditation science, which you lose a sense of fear, because that Kali is like fear personified. And in Tantra, they said they created these deities because the yogis were meditating and they were being troubled by, negative energies and so forth. And this helped them to overcome it. But in my experience, um, I found that I reached a level where I lost fear, and the sense of fear completely, and I became fearless. I mean, of course, I'm not irresponsible. But I can analyze. Someone can threaten me and so forth. I still am able to do. I mean, I'm not afraid to do my energy healing. Risking my life. There's no fear in me. I'll go into it because I'm doing the job and I'm saving the person's life, risking my life. Most people will be afraid, right? It's not many energy healers will put their own energy, at risk and specialize in critical care recovery and terminal illnesses, as a specialization, right? And they won't also give it the full. They will try to do cosmic energy, try to channel energy from another source, right? And not give their own full energy. But why should I? Because channeling energy, you from an energy source, whatever the source is, there's a limitation from the source. But when you're channeling from your own, because you are connected to the cosmic energy, right? To the source, the Kundalini energy is the creative energy which is in you, right? Your life force energy. So I'm developing it on a higher and higher level, and it's rising usually every 2 weeks to the next level. And since I've been learned to control and raise it since about 5 years ago or 6 years ago, it's now reached to level number 705, right? And it's still rising. And as it's rising, what used to take me a long time to heal, getting shorter and shorter. Like about 3 years ago, it used to take me about 4.5 hours to heal a certain type of muscular pain, and now I can do it in 4 minutes, right? The same thing. And I just notice I'm getting, as my energy is increasing, the speed with which I can heal is increasing. The power is increasing. So, I'm willing to give, my full and risking. And from that time when my energy was low, it was very easy for me to lose my life. And I didn't, but I saved the life. I could have been dead many times. Many occasions I get extremely ill, especially someone who's saving their life. It really affects me, very heavily. Even recently, there was someone who was 82 years old, very sick, and it was a lady, right? So to give you an idea, to heal ladies is far double the amount of energy than healing a man, similar illness, similar age. And I got no idea why, right? So obviously, ladies have a higher threshold for pain because they can give birth to children. So when they feeling the illness, when they say they're sick, they are like double sick of what a man is before they can, say that they are feeling, the same level of extreme sickness, because their threshold is so much higher to be able. If a man, it said scientifically, has to give birth, that level of pain, he cannot handle the threshold, he will die. if he experiences that level of pain which a woman is able to experience. So of course they have a higher capacity, but from an energy healing perspective, I can, I know it's going to be a life threatening, because I'm a male, right? And it's a life threatening situation for me, but I go for it. I don't have any fear, right? And what that represents is that she's standing on the Shiva is actually not dead, is sleeping. And because I can sleep peacefully. Every night I sleep very like a baby, you know, and I don't have any massive fears and, trepidation and stress. Cool as a cucumber always. The worst of situation, worst of problem, I'm calm and collected, you know. So it means we've conquered fear, conquered fear, and able to maintain that calm and make, logical decisions and so forth, right? So I'm just describing these things so that, w- to give some um, uh, support, that I'm not just like thumb sucking. I'm not coming from nowhere and a nobody, and suddenly threatening, what is written in the ancient scriptures. And I'm also giving my evidence that if one looks at the picture, which describes clearly the right half is bluish gray and the left half, of that picture of that god, the depiction of the god, right? And the left half is pinkish red. The feminine half is on the left side. You can go online and see it's called the Shiva Shakti, or the half man, half woman, deity picture. So it is not a real deity. It is, um, according to my opinion, right? So I'm sorry if I'm offending people. So my opinion, it is a pictorial aspect of what is in the scriptures. So I hope that information helps you, and clarifying the colors of the Ida and the Pingala. And I will no longer refer to the Ida or the feminine aspect as pinkish red. I will refer it as grayish blue, and I will refer the masculine, um, uh, the Pingala, as grayish blue, henceforth. And hope that information helps you. Take care of yourself.